Hello, this is Natalie from Leo Lovelight Tarot, and I'm going to do a reading for the collective. And it doesn't matter what your zodiac is. I don't know if I ever will do zodiacs or not, but for now, I just like to do it for the collective. And what I'm going to do is I usually start off with an oracle card or two. It depends on what comes out because I like to finish the shuffle. I'm funny like that. And then I do tarot to see what comes up and how it supports the oracle card. So before I began, I did a little bit of reflecting, and what had come up for me is lumber, like a 2x4. Well, that's really interesting. And so what I'm getting from that is stability, constructing something. And as I went on with that, I saw a branch. So this was like a branch from like a maple tree or something, like that type of tree in the wintertime. So it didn't have any leaves or anything on it. And so what I'm getting from that is a possible need for creating stability through building something, starting from scratch. Okay, so you have the tools that you need in order to make what you're aiming for, striving for. And as I carried on, then there were some pink flowers. So pink, for me, I feel like is having to do with love. Whether that's self-love or somebody else, that it depends on how that resonates for you. Everybody's gonna have a different story, and because this isn't for one particular person, you have to kind of take what fits. Okay, don't try and make it fit. It's not always the way to go. So let's see. The other thing that came to mind when I was thinking about these things was where the words expand horizons came up. So this is for a personal expansion, maybe a planning time, a restful time, because when we're thinking about branches in the winter time, the tree it's in a dormant stage, right? It's getting ready for the spring to rejuvenate when the time is right. So I feel that this might be where you're at this time, is that there's something that needs to be built on, something that you need to be contemplating at this time and planning for when the time is right. So let's see what comes up in my oracle deck first. With the shuffling, I have the smallest hands in America. I'm actually in Canada, but you know. We can call it North America. Oops, this one just flipped right over. So, okay, I have a hard time with oracle decks and tarot decks because they're so big. So I can't really do the fancy old shuffle that most people do. I'm great at that with a regular deck of cards, but not with these. You're too big, and I actually was starting to get tendonitis when I started working with my decks at first, and I'm like, nope, this just isn't good. So what I have here is the Eagle Spirit, and just in case it's not showing up very well far away there, this is about freedom. Fly like an eagle, be free. Let's see, so how this works out with your stability theme. We have stability, construction, making something, building something in order to gain your freedom, whether this is financial or not, just that feeling of freedom. That's something that I feel that everybody really wants that on some level, and it really depends on what makes sense for each individual as to what that really means. So freedom, let's see what comes up with the tarot deck here. And again, I can't do the fancy shuffle. I do a pre-shuffle for everything. I clear my decks, but we're just going to do regular. So what I normally do, whoop, there's one. I do 3 cards, and I finish the shuffle. Those came flying out like there's no tomorrow. Once I finish the shuffle, because sometimes an extra 1 or 2 will come out, I always take the bottom card as an overall theme. Woo! We've got the Tower. So I'm putting that with here because overall theme for the oracle card as well. So before I even look at these cards, the Tower. So the Tower can mean like bad things, you know, an awful experience, but it doesn't have to always be bad. So a lot of times people will see the Tower and they get really scared. They're like, oh no, I don't want to go through another Tower. No, but I've been through enough of that. The Tower is just It can be sudden changes. It can be massive changes. It can cause a lot of chaos and upheaval in your life, but this can be a good thing. And it might just be that you need to make some really huge changes in order to gain the freedom that you are lacking, or the freedom that you are needing, or the freedom that you are wanting. Okay, so what I have, ooh, this is great actually. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one out there first. So here I have the Nine of Swords, which is all about anxiety, sleepless nights, stress, all those fun things. So this has to do with our tower. It may just be that you are experiencing your tower right now and it's causing your Nine of Swords mentality. What we see in the picture here is we have this white owl, and owls are all about wisdom, right? So going through all of this, you are gaining some wisdom. And again, this can be used for you to build onto that future that you're looking for. We have the Fool. And the Fool is all about new beginnings, new journeys, right? So this really fits with the construction image that I was getting. So we have to start something new. You start from the bottom up. That lumber is being used as your stable base. It's like the bones of the house or whatever it is that you're making. It's the base of everything, okay? Need to have a strong foundation in order to build our tower, our new tower, right? Let's look at it as a new tower because you're in construction, under construction. Now we do have the Three of Pentacles as well. And the Three of Pentacles is mostly about teamwork. So you can see we have this guy, he's here doing painting on the windows, and you've got these two who are watching, and it's like they're giving them guidance. So if there's help that is being offered to you, then by all means take it, because it's going to help you to get to where you need to go. Or don't be afraid to ask for help, right? So, I mean, the Fool is about taking a leap of faith. And maybe you need to take the leap of faith not only in this journey, but also with asking for the help. So maybe, I normally like to get clarification cards, but I don't know, this seems pretty exact. I don't see, well, not exact, but you know, it's pretty clear to me. I don't think I'm going to go there, but I am going to use my Mystical Cats deck for advice. I find this to be a really great deck for finding out advice. It's very advicey. And it's funny because sometimes this deck doesn't go completely in the same direction, or like exact meanings. Like it is at the base or the foundation. There's that foundation thing again. So you might find, like, even in a regular deck, I tend to go a little bit off the basic meaning, depending on what feels right, and any words that I might think of at the time. Sometimes things just pop in my head and I go with it. So, all right, so let's go for advice moving forward on this freedom endeavor. Let's see. I'm feeling like... I'm hearing that you may need to get clear on what it is that you want and how to get there. Whoa, two at the same time. I'm not always a fan of that because sometimes I wonder, well, is it supposed to be just one of them? But things don't usually happen by accident, right? So, okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so yeah, this is great. So remember a second ago I was saying we have to be clear on what it is we want, or what it is we need, or where it is that we're supposed to go. So what I've got here are the Stars card. It's called Stars in this deck. And the Floating Cat, which is like the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man I read different ways depending on the situation and the surrounding cards. The way I'm seeing this is we can't be giving up on our hopes and dreams. This tower, the tower is always temporary, and you always have the choice. You always have the opportunity to rebuild it, which is what this is looking like it's all about for me. Well, for you, but to me, to convey to you. Don't give up on that. You know, close your eyes. Envision what it is that you're looking for, what you need, what you want. The Floating Cat is, in this case, I'm looking at it as you need to take a look at what it is you want. See it from new eyes, right? There's something magical. I mean, the regular hangman, he's actually hanging from something. The floating cat, he's just magically floating. Imagine doing that, right? So reach for the stars. You can do the unthinkable. You can do what you think might be impossible. It's not impossible. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you would like to have a personal detailed reading, you can email me at leolovelightarot@gmail.com. And I hope to hear from you. It'd be wonderful to hear from you. And have a wonderful day.